2025 has provided us with a delicious buffet of new chill and cozy games. But after the release of Fantasy Life I at the end of May, I found absolutely nothing new that piqued my interest. So I turned off my computer and actually did things. Like indoor rowing to compensate for my cheese eating addiction, walking on our farm, I got a new fish. No, not him. Exploring local islands with friends, failing at capturing inappropriate photos of monuments, and boating so far north that I was beckoned by the land of ice hockey and maple syrup. And other than occasionally goofing around in Fortnite with friends, I played no video games. Until the release of Grimshire in late July. It's just another farming game, right? Wrong. It's dark and mysterious, your neighbors can die, and, well, it has bunnies who even knew that I chose a bunny character too. It's an anthropomorphic farming game with survival elements. I bought it with my own money, have played over 20 hours, and I'm going to share 5 reasons why Grimshire brought me back to gaming and could be my farming game of the year for 2025. Yeah, it's that good. But first, here are the quick and dirty facts about Grimshire. It's an indie game created by 2 developers and their doggo. You can buy it for $15 on Steam. No word on console porting just yet. It plays nicely on controller and Steam Deck. And even though it's in early access and currently only playable throughout the first year, there's at least 40 hours of gameplay or 38 cents per hour, which is darn cheap entertainment, and there are some really exciting upcoming features on the roadmap too. The first awesomely unique aspect of Grimshire is its dark storyline. You survived a fiery attack in the capital and were brought by ship to seek refuge in Grimshire. I don't want to give away too much, but just know that things get much worse for your village with apocalyptic vibes and a plague to battle. I'm honestly so tired of farming games that are cookie cutter and sugary sweet. And Grimshire has a deliciously ominous story that captivates from the start. Because of the mysterious attacks and plague, you're tasked with building a farm and homestead with the sole purpose of keeping the villagers alive. And this survival element adds a delightfully meaningful purpose to farming. Forget about cliche farming just to make money and buy cool items and upgrades. You must keep the community root cellar stocked with ample food for both herbivore and carnivore villagers, or they will die. And trust me, they will die. Every game day, you must strategize a plan and carefully divide your time between growing crops, fishing, mining, and deciding what food products to smoke, dry, and ferment, and when to rush fresh foods to an empty root cellar to save your friends' lives. I find myself on the edge of my seat, knowing that one wrong decision could cost my favorite villager to perish. It's a little stressful, but amazingly exciting and fun. What you do truly matters, and this meaningful purpose kept me glued to the game and sets Grimshire apart from so many other games in the farming genre. The third unique feature of Grimshire is it's one of the few games that I have any desire to replay. Within the game settings, there are 3 difficulty settings that adjust the ration amounts that you need to have stocked in the root cellar. This can be changed at any time, so no need to start over. I played on easy difficulty, which I don't consider to be easy at all, as I was constantly struggling to maintain the food supply. Before playing, you'll have several characters to choose from. Current options include an herbivore, carnivore, and omnivore, which affects buffs gained from what you eat. And you can choose a profession too. Your chosen profession provides 1 free skill perk, with others being unlockable through the skill tree as your character gains experience. I'd love to replay the game as a different character and change my skill tree path as well. And my favorite reason to replay Grimshire is to choose different community projects. Throughout the first year, you'll be presented with choices for which community project to complete in order to help provide more food for the village. For example, you can build an herb garden or mushroom hut, or choose between fighting the red tide with plants or building a fish farm. What you choose affects the flow of food and changes the look of your village. It's like a choose-your-own adventure, and I'm incredibly curious to replay the game and make different project choices, or just be as lazy as possible and see which villagers bite it first. Gradual season changes is the fourth awesome feature of Grimshire. Farming games typically instantly swap crops and weather once the new season begins, but Grimshire has a beautiful variety of seasonal crops, wild plants, trees, and fish that gently trickle in and out through the seasons. Trees and bushes will slowly wax and wane with delicious fruits, and new wild harvestables will dot the landscapes in the mountains, forest, and marshland. The ambient weather sound effects and peaceful soundtrack are also stunning. And you've been listening to the official game soundtrack throughout this video, by the way. That cost me $7, so enjoy. There are also over 25 crops that you'll need to learn their seasons and ensure to plant them in time to harvest. This glorious complexity adds to the brain-tickling survival challenge. This is not an easy game, but that's what makes it stand out. And the fifth reason that Grimshire is so addicting is how it puts little twists on the typical farming game mechanics. For example, there are over 25 villagers to befriend and eventually marry and have children with, if they don't die, of course. But the gifts and quest rewards you receive can literally be life-saving, and their dialogue is quite varied too. There are also critters to tame and add to your farm and breed, but they will grow old and you may need to butcher them to meet your carnivore food quota. And the critters are awesomely weird, like these chicories that look like little T-Rexes and lay jars of honey each day. Totally normal. The cliché museum that you need to donate one of everything to does exist in Grimshire, but the twist is that donations are used for research and will unlock game-changing equipment like sprinklers and fermentation barrels. There is a lot of fishing required at first, and I know some of you detest this mechanic, but the unique feature is that you'll need to wiggle the worm to attract the fish. It's fast and not at all boring, trust me. Of course, there's mining too, but instead of typical dungeon monsters, the looming threat is that some walls are load-bearing and can cave in the entire mine, causing you to restart from level 1. And there's also a really awesome quick swap feature for some decor items, like changing table settings, getting new potted plants, or swapping through furniture colors. How cool is this? Instant gratification and cutification. Not sure that's a word, but you get my drift. Next, let's take a quick look at the roadmap to see what's coming to Grimshire throughout early access. We can expect a full second year of content and continuation of the story of the mysterious apocalyptic events. The relationships we've been building with villagers can eventually turn into romances, with rival relationships, marriage, and children too. We'll be given plenty more ways to customize our farms with new processing stations like a seed maker and kiln, a greenhouse, new animal barns, as well as decor and building exterior customizations, and more player character options. Player pets and mounts are in the works too, and it might be quite comical to see our animal characters riding another animal. And finally, control bindings will be remappable for keyboard and controller. So there's plenty of content coming, and what's already here is really good. But I do have two small suggestions that I hope are eventually addressed. The first is time and pacing. There is a midnight curfew that will zap your stamina, and there's so much to do. I spent my entire day farming and fishing to supply enough carnivore and herbivore food so my villager friends wouldn't die, and I had no time or money to build animal barns, upgrade tools, or decorate my farm until midsummer. And I played on easy mode. No doubt the food supply amounts need to be balanced to provide a more relaxing experience on easy difficulty, but I'd also love the ability to adjust the day speed. My other wishlist item is for improved inventory management amenities. There's no crafting from inventory, and the chests don't share inventory, so having to retrieve materials and remember where they're stored did make crafting a bit cumbersome. Some quality of life inventory improvements would be welcomed. Do I think Grimshire is worth buying in its early access state? 100%. It's priced very reasonably and has over 40 hours of content so far, but moreover, it's a breath of fresh air to the farming sim genre. You don't just plant crops and fish to make money for trivial materialistic items. You're literally working to keep your fellow villagers alive throughout a plague and famine. It's not easy, and there can be game-changing consequences for making poor choices, but this is how Grimshire thinks outside the farming sim box, or barn. The delicious darkness and survival elements provide a meaningful purpose and spicy excitement that keeps it from becoming dull and boring. I was constantly creating a mental to-do list and strategizing my days because I didn't want my friends to starve to death. Grimshire is the beautiful mixed offspring of the farming and survival genres, and I highly recommend it to cozy gamers who want something a bit edgy and punk rock instead of rainbow farting unicorns. Grimshire is a beautifully unique farming survival adventure that is so different and engaging that it brought me back to gaming and is so far my favorite farm game of the year. But what do you think of Grimshire? Let me know in the comments if you'll be playing it. And if you don't want to miss out on the latest in chill and cozy games, please consider subscribing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again in another 2 months. Just kidding. Come on, Fortnite. You know what we're gonna do with these emotes. I'm such a child.